Hi, this is Asin. You are now watching Asin Excel TV. Today, we would like to share how to define names in Excel. For example, if you want to define this cell, click on the cell, move to the name box and type the name that we want, as long as we are not using space, as this is not allowed, as we can see here. Or we can right-click the cell, click on Define Name. By default, the name suggested by Excel will be the contained next to the cell, as we can see here. And Excel will replace space by using underscore. We can choose the scope, whether we want to apply this name to the entire workbook or for a particular sheet. We could also leave a comment if we want. Click on OK and we should have defined the name. Or this can also be done by go to Formulas, click on Define Name. And we should have exactly the same window. Click on OK and we should be able to call the value by using the name that we define, as well as apply and the formula. We should always bear in mind that this is applicable for the entire workbook. If we have selected workbook for scope when defining the name. Oh, let's say in the midst of writing the formula, we have forgotten the name. We can click on this Use in Formula and look for the name that we previously applied. We just have to select it and we are able to call the value as we can see here. If the name is string to us, don't worry, we can click on this Name Manager. From here, we can refer to the range that this name refers to, and we can check the range. For example, I think F1, and we go to the sheet and look for F1. And this is the range that the name refers to. On the other hand, how let's say we have changed our mind and only want to apply the name for a particular worksheet instead of the entire workbook. We can go to Name Manager and delete the existing name since we are not allowed to edit the scope that we selected previously. Next is to click on New or back to the cell and click on Define Name, and this time we should change the scope. Instead of selecting Workbook, we should choose the sheet that we want to apply the name, for example X2. Click on OK and we back to X1. We can see that this sheet has lost the name. However, if we change the scope back to Workbook, the name will still be available for all the sheet, as you can see here. Besides, if we have a list of items or values to be defined, first select the range of the values included the names and go to Create from Selection. Choose the correct position of the names and click on OK. And we should have all the names here. We should take note that if they are repeat names, the later will only be applicable for its worksheet if the former was used and applied for the entire workbook. Besides assigning name to a single cell, we could also assign name to a range or an array. For example, let's select columns A and B and click on Create from Selection. If you want the headers to be the name, we should check only the top row, which means that we should uncheck the left column. Click on OK and click on Name Manager. We should have the values together with the range. If you want to use them in a formula, for example, we want to count the number of students, we can type equal to count A, since this is not value, but letters. So we should count A for text, and we use the name that we apply, name, and press enter. Let's check, is it 58? Start from 2, so go to 59, minus 1, 58, correct. And if you want to have the average performance, so we have equal to average, and what we need here is the CGPA. Press enter and we should have the value as we can see here. If let's say we add a name, and Excel should order update the value since we selected the entire column. If you want to create a list of names that we have defined on the new worksheet, click on this used in formula paste names, paste list, and all the names will be pasted here. If you want to know the value, press the function key F2 and press enter, and we should be able to know the value. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you.